Here we have a story of someone that I think a lot of people are a huge fan of. Everybody grew up with Mr. Rogers.
Did Canadians grow up with Mr.
We did.
Rogers? I never know, because sometimes I talk to people from England or something, and they go, who?
No, definitely.
Most people have heard of Tom Hanks, but not everybody has heard of Mr. Rogers.
That's true. And as you start to explore, the life of Fred Rogers, was there anything that really surprised you about his life?
I think it's very rare when you find somebody like that who actually lives up to all the things you think that they meant. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how rare it is to find somebody who, in action, lives up to all of their ideals. And he believed in the goodness in everybody. He truly did. And he lived that in every aspect of his life. It's touching, and it felt like a responsibility to make his movie and to do it in a way that would honor him. And
casting Tom Hanks in this role, I feel like that was meant to be. I remember the moment we saw the photo of Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers, people were so excited. I take it he must have been first on your list for this project. Oh yes,
of course, definitely. It's funny though, I feel like everyone just goes, oh, it makes sense. Tom Hanks, Mr. Rogers, I love them both. Of course this is who should play it. But I don't want people to underestimate how much work went into him playing Mr. Rogers, because it's really a transformative performance. Mm-hmm. I think when people see the movie, they're going to be blown away by what he gives in this performance. It's something really special, really deep, really raw, and it wasn't just easy, breeze in and be this other person, because they are actually different energetically types of people. Tom Hanks is really boisterous, really charming, kind of fills up the room. He's just a really fun person to be around, whereas I think Fred had a lot more stillness to him.
And calming spirit.
Calming and sat in awkward silence even, and he would ask a question and just sit and look at you until you answered it.
It's also really difficult to put your shoes on while talking to the camera.
That is difficult, and zip up the sweater and all of the things. And Mr. Rogers had a lot of practice. Hundreds and hundreds of times.
Sometimes actors, the simplest things on set that you have to do, the simplest motions can take the most takes. Mm-hmm. Were there any sweater mishaps or shoe mishaps on set?
There were some sweater mishaps. It was, we would get to that part and the sweater would snag. And we hand knit all the sweaters.
Catch the shirt in the zipper?
No, it was just the sweater itself. We were really, really dedicated to making everything authentic. So his original sweaters had been hand knitted by his mom. So we hand knit all the sweaters that he wore in the movie. We didn't want to use the originals, they're in a museum. But although Joanne Rogers, his wife, did offer us full access to his wardrobe.
That's great.
The real Fred Rogers. So every tie that Tom wears in the movie was an actual Mr. Rogers tie.
Oh, that's incredible.
But we hand knit the sweaters. So anyway, it would snag a little bit, and we'd get to that point in the song, and we'd have to start the whole thing over again, because of course it's one big long take.
It's got to be. I mean, I feel like you do a film like this, and you really analyze, Mr. Rogers, and you must go home and be like, I need to change my life, and I need to be a better person.
All of us felt like getting to live with his message made us all better people and made us all kinder parents, and it sort of reminded us of who we want to be in the world.
I mean, I think we should all try to be Mr. Rogers when we grow up.
Yeah.
Even if we've already grown up.
But one really important thing about that is he didn't want anybody to think of him as a saint, and his wife doesn't want anyone to think of him as a saint, because he worked at it. He worked at being Mr. Rogers. It wasn't just that he came out saintly and was this person. He was a human just like the rest of us, with all of the same issues as the rest of us, and he chose how to access his inner kindness in a different way and how to cope with his anger in different ways, and it was a choice. And so in not thinking of him like a saint, it's important that we're able to say we can also be more like that, because we all have that choice.